HowExpert! HowExpert Top 10 Travel Packing Tips and Lessons. Number 1, research your destination. Where are you going? What will you need? What will the weather be like during your stay? Will you need anything for any stops along the way, such as a sweater or extra identification documents? Number 2, how long will your trip be? Once you figure out what to reasonably expect at your destination and any possible stops along the way, it's time to think about the length of your trip. This will help you figure out how much you will realistically need to pack, although let's face it, we don't always stick to that limit. Number 3, get organized. One thing I always struggle with is figuring out what I absolutely have to bring and what can stay behind. Especially when packing for a long-term trip, this can be difficult. But it is essential if you want to avoid overcrowding the car, lugging tons of bags with you only to find items you will likely not even get a chance to wear, or getting hit with an overweight baggage fee. If you have the space and ability to fit everything you want to take with you, then that's great. If not, you need to get organized. Even if you are able to fit everything, this might be helpful to weed out items you want but won't necessarily get a chance to use. Your bags shouldn't have to be any heavier than they need to be. Make a few piles. You decide how many. One should be for the things you definitely know you need and will use. The rest of the piles are up to you, but make sure you have one that is items you either likely will not use or know you will not use, so you can easily part with this pile. If you part with this pile and still think you have too much, you'll need to reevaluate the rest of the piles you aren't 100% sure about until you get to an amount of stuff you're comfortable with and can fit in your luggage. Number 4, have a list. People often remark that there's always that one thing they forget. A beach towel, that extra shirt, deodorant. Oh, if only they'd made a list! Of course, most of the time you can buy whatever you need at your destination, but who wants to spend the money? Plus, you might be frustrated over not having the beach towel you liked or not being able to find your go-to deodorant. Even if you generally tend to be pretty organized without a list, making one can help put your mind at ease. I find that whenever I make a list, my mind stops racing as much and I'm able to focus on other things. Number 5, invest in something with wheels. I am speaking from personal experience here. When I walk through an airport with my heavy duffel bag and backpack on my shoulders, I regret not looking into purchasing a bag with wheels. Seeing people breeze through the terminal dragging their bags along instead of hauling them over their shoulders makes me envy them. So invest in a reasonable quality carry-on bag with wheels and save yourself the trouble of having to lug your heavy bags through the airport or train station. Just make sure the size is compatible with any airline requirements. Number 6, pack a light checked bag and heavy carry-ons. If you're traveling by airplane or even bus and need to check a bag, you are likely familiar with the struggle of the baggage weight limit. If you have a lot of items you need or want to bring, this can be quite frustrating. That's why I try my best to pack lighter items such as clothes in my checked baggage and heavier items that are allowed on board into my carry-on and personal item. Pack as many light things as you can into your checked bag and carry the bulk of any weightier items with you to minimize the risk of an overweight baggage fee or having to frantically rearrange luggage at the check-in counter. Number 7, fill every area possible. Maximizing your space is a fundamental part of the packing process, simply to ensure you're getting the most out of your luggage. Got side pockets on that duffel bag? Fill them with something soft like socks. If you need just a little extra room, such side pockets are your best friend. Number 8, use bags and containers. Lots of them. And no, I don't necessarily mean plastic bags. These can be any bags or similar containers you have on hand, like makeup bags. These will help you stay organized and on top of your items once you're ready to unpack. You won't have to deal with opening your suitcase to a mess of random items scattered about. You'll have everything neatly organized and ready to go. This will also allow you to easily repack when it's time to head back home. Number 9, how to fold, what to roll. Many people, when they think of packing, picture the neatly organized suitcase, clothes folded and piled in rows. While this may look satisfying and works just fine, it might not always be the most space-saving method. A few years ago, I heard about a new packing method, rolling your clothes. At the time, I went all in. I rolled everything. Only recently have I realized maybe rolling absolutely everything isn't necessarily the best way to go either. I also changed how I roll. Instead of laying all of my shirts on top of one another and rolling them up all together, and doing the same with my dresses, skirts, and pants, I now roll items individually, and I think it does make a difference. Rolling in general saves space, but rolling individually saves even more space than just having a few large bulky rolls of clothing. Plus, rolling individually means you can more easily shove a few of those shirts into a tight space in your backpack. However, I mentioned I didn't roll absolutely everything anymore, and that's because not everything is as compact when rolled. Specifically, jeans are still quite bulky when rolled individually. I now fold them by folding both pant legs up, then folding up again, and only then do I do the two sides together. Shorts are a toss-up. If you have shorts made from a more soft material like cotton that you think will roll really well and be super compact, go for it. I usually fold any shorts that aren't super soft though. For super thin items like flannels, I'll usually spread them down on top of the other packed items at the very end. Number 10, go at your own pace. Packing last minute stress you out? Then don't if you can avoid it. You know your work style best, so go with what works for you. Personally, I work better last minute. Otherwise, the apartment becomes a mess of clothes I probably won't even take with me, shoes I won't need, and makeup I likely won't wear.